so much for comics in this town.
Yes,
I
he
know from me
has.
and many others. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And he does the military tours.
he sure does. I was supposed to be doing a
Wow.
military tour next month, and it obviously
You
got
are?
canceled. I was supposed to, but it got canceled.
Oh my gosh. Where were you gonna go?
This one was up to Alaska, um, but the last one I did was in Iraq.
Wow. When was that?
Be- Um, 10 years ago.
Wow.
I mean, that was
I
during it was hot then. I mean, it was a war zone then. Not like today, but
thank you for
it was.
doing that. My God.
Yeah, I loved it.
So have you been in the military, Greg Vaccariello?
No, Vaccarella. No, I have not.
Because
No.
you have a lot of posts on your Facebook wall, because I went snooping, as we
Uh
do,
huh.
and you have things about firefighters and
Yeah.
police and military and
Well, I just.
animals.
Okay, I'm an animal lover,
Okay.
and that's it. Actually, I want to start volunteering if I can, at a shelter. But I've heard that they're a little careful now with all this COVID stuff about bringing people in they don't know. But I was talking to a neighbor of mine, and he does pit bull rescue, fostering, and he told me that they're a little bit cautious about new people coming in and out and all that. So I understand that. But I had volunteered when I was living in Pahrump. I volunteered at a shelter up there when I wasn't on the road. Even just a few hours a week is a big help to them, and help them in some way to get the animals taken care of. You know,
Okay.
uh, all my dogs have been adopted.
Okay.
So, and as far as the police goes, my dad was a cop, my brother's a cop, my brother-in-law, his brother, my one of my dearest friends is a firefighter. So, I always try to support them. Their job is unbelievably difficult, and
Yes.
and of course, I always just love the military, and going over there to Iraq was the best thing I've ever done.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for entertaining the troops and taking care of
Oh, my
animals and
pleasure.
loving
Oh,
first
yeah.
responders. What a great guy you are.
Eh,
Great guy.
eh. My
So
ex-wife
did you
doesn't
know
think
that
so.
yeah, you know how they are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So did you know that I'm a military veteran?
I did not know that.
Shockaroo.
Surprise, surprise. What
Yeah.
branch were you in?
I was in the army
Oh my gosh. Good for
back
you.
before
I didn't know that.
we had Gloria Allred on speed dial in the 70s.
Oh, what? Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Good for you. How long were you
I
in the
got
army?
I got all kinds of material on it. They just love me.
I'll bet you do.
I do. Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I can't even imagine that. When I was in Iraq, uh, I went with a great band called Lone Star. I don't know if you ever heard of Lone Star. Okay.
Yes.
So we went, I mean, I am telling you that I was in awe of these people, the military personnel, because they were so just incredibly down to earth, brave, real, risking their lives. I mean, amazing.
Yes.
I thank you. Keep saying thank you for Indian troops. Thank you for what you did, Linda. I mean, that's amazing.
Thank
I'm
you.
really impressed in that. I think that's great.
Thank you.
I
Well,
think,
I'm a baby boomer, and I saw a poster, and some man wanted me, Uncle Sam. I didn't have
uh,
an uncle, and some uncle wanted me, so I joined.
oh, that's so funny. Some uncle wanted me.
What's an uncle? What do I know? And then it was supposed to be rosy and riveting. My
Mm-hmm.
face was
Yeah,
rosy for
Rosie the
three
Riveter.
years. My face was rosy for 3 years, and they were trying to rivet me.
Oh, ha! Now, where were you
Wordplay
stationed?
that.
Yeah.
Hanau, Germany. It's a little town southeast of Frankfurt.
Oh, okay. I kind of know. All right.
It's where the Grimm
Wow.
brothers are from.
Oh, really?
But my dad survived the Holocaust, so we get to win on Grimm.
Oh, nice.
We out Grimm everybody.
I'll bet. Yay. Wow.
Yeah. No, I got jokes, but you know, it's finding the right audience. That's the problem.
Yeah, of course.
Gotta
You know, I
select your
still talk to a couple of the soldiers that I entertained 10 years ago.
Yes.
A little bit, a few times a year on Facebook, something will pop up, or, you know, I'll see one or two of them doing something. So, yeah, that was a great experience.
I want to ask you about the people that you stay in contact with, because you're the first person out of 530 some people that have told me you entertain the troops and you're still in contact with any of them. So what was something that bonded you to the point where you keep in contact?
Well, you know, honestly, it was them doing it. You know, when I was there, we did, gosh, I think we did 10 or 11 shows in 9 days. And some of the shows were literally just 20 people, and some were in big theaters in the bases for 1,000. So we had a lot of people over the course of that trip. And I gave out my card to a bunch of them, you know, whoever wanted it. And when I got back, I had received several emails or whatever, Facebook message thanking from some of the troops, thanking me for doing that. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever, because they don't have to thank me. I thank them. And so I would get back to them, and maybe now it's 3 or 4 that I'll occasionally see pop up on Facebook or shoot me a little message to say hello or something like that. And I think it was just that they enjoyed the show, and that's just who they are as people. They just wanted to let me know that it meant a lot to them that I was there. But of course, I was there with Lone Star, so they were the stars of the show. Yeah. But they let me know that they appreciated the show. And cool. I just thought that was the coolest thing, that's what they're thinking about, is letting me know that they're saying thank you.
That's awesome.
When they're literally in a war zone. I just couldn't believe it.
It's so humbling, right?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there when I was there, the week I was there, the 9 days, whatever it was, 2 of the nights that we performed in places that had been rocketed the night before. Rocket attack the night before. And so we were performing, and you could see the results of it, and the crater and the building that collapsed and all that. And this was where they were living. You know what I'm saying? And I learned so much. When I was there about what they do, and of course it's how they do it, and of course it's just what, you know, civilian information. It's not, but I did learn a few things that they told us that they do that were fascinating. And I thought to myself, these people are so brave, and some of them were 20, 21 years old, 22 years old. You're thinking, my God, you know, would I have done that at that age? Like, would I have been able to do that at that age? I don't know. I really don't know. And, you know, so I just was blown away by it. And to see them, one of the nights where this building had been rocketed, the area of the building that got hit was the office. Was the entertainment room. They had a little entertainment room where the TV was and all that. And they told me that they were watching TV. I don't know they were watching something, whatever it was, and the satellite went out. So they couldn't get it fixed. So after about 20 minutes, they just left this little entertainment room and went back to their office. And that's when the rocket hit. The rocket wiped out the entire entertainment room. So had that satellite not gone out, they more than likely would have died. Wow. Because it literally hit that room where the television was, and they had, you know, a television and chairs that they could watch TV. And that was just the night before. And so had that satellite not gone out, they would have been sitting there watching television, and they would have been probably killed or seriously injured. That's how fragile it was. That's how close they came, you know, to dying. Just a satellite going out. I mean,
it's incredible. You know,
yeah.
You're so special to me. Every entertainer, especially comedians who have entertained the troops, I have such a soft spot in my heart. You could make me cry right now that you've done
Oh,
that for our military.
it was my pleasure. And believe me, I would love to do it again. I really, really would. I would love to do it again because it meant so much to me to do it. And I'll tell you what was, it's hard to understand this, but some of the, some of the troops they entertained were there for a while, a year or so. And they made sure I worked for this wonderful woman named Judy from Tennessee. And her company is called Stars for Stripes. She's an amazing person. She's an amazing person, what she does for the military. But she told us only wear denim. Don't wear anything else. Just wear denim. I said, all right, I was going to do it anyway, but I wore denim. And it dawned on me why. It had nothing to do with necessarily laundry. It's because the troops, some of them haven't seen denim in a year or two. They're just wearing their military. That's all they know for a year or two. And I'm telling you that after some shows, some of the guys would come and go, this isn't weird, but can I touch your denim? I'm like, yeah. And they would just touch my jeans. Oh, I feel so good. Oh, thank you. I feel so good. And, anyway, it was just, that's a minor thing that they miss, but you can imagine how much they miss it or imagine how much they miss their family and their friends and their hometown and all that. If they want to come and touch denim, that's when I went, oh, that's why Judy told us to wear denim. Okay. It was so they could see it and touch it. And it normalizes it for them, If you dress like we dress, jeans, t-shirt, nothing fancy, to them it's home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's home.
I do.
And so it makes them feel good.
I've been there where you're stuck in a foreign country and you just need that touch of home. Like we had the Stars and Stripes newspaper, and now Armed Forces Network is doing a great job reaching people, but they're not in person. You're in person. And you're putting yourself in harm's way. So I think you qualify to be a veteran.
Well, you know what? I tell you, it's fun, well, not funny that you say that, but those 2 nights that we were attacked, like they guarded us. Like they made sure we were okay. The 2 shows they did it everywhere we went. But there was one show I was doing in an old I think it was a Polish Air Force hangar. It was ours anyway. And there's a couple hundred other troops out there, and they're holding their weapons. They got their machine guns, and I'm thinking, man, I better be funny, And all of a sudden, we hear gunfire to my right. I went, and they all stopped and listened, and they were like, "It's okay, it's outgoing. Don't worry about it. You're fine." But it could have been incoming, and when you go on one of these trips, I'm sure Linda, that when you're an entertainer and you go on one of these trips, you give up you're telling them, I understand I could die. Like you have to, that has to be understood, and that your family can't sue, none of that stuff, because it's dangerous. It's a war zone. Yeah. I went to a war zone. I was happy to do it, by the way, but
I can see that.
I really mean it. I loved it. I loved every second of it. But it is indeed a war zone. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm here for 9 days. Some of these people are here for a couple of years.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I always think about them.
Some of them got lied to by the recruiter and thought they were going to Biloxi, Mississippi, and wound up in Afghanistan. You just never know what they do.
Maybe they didn't, but I met some incredible people on that trip. Super, super, super nice. Smart, down to earth, and I just couldn't believe it. We went to a base. I won't even say the name of it in case you're not supposed. I don't know, but it was way, way, way out on the Iranian border, and we have about 200 troops. What's that?
The Iranian border.
Yeah, well, they built that base to stop weapons smuggling from Iran into Iraq. So that's where these soldiers lived. They lived there, and their job was to try to stop any weapons smuggling. And Iran was just like, we think we live in the desert. That is a very different kind of desert. I mean, it is dark. And where these people lived in this base, there were, I mean, they had those little candle lights. Like there was no lighting because they don't want the base lit up at night.
Yeah.
So it was just dark. And you got to kind of know where you were going. And only in the tents where they could eat, covered where it was really like dark, could they have the light so they could see what they were, what they were eating and getting around the dining hall. And I just looked at myself, I'm so lucky to be meeting these people. And it gives you really a greater appreciation for who they are, these troops, and what they do. And so it was kind of life changing for me. Like I went, I wonder if I could have done this at their age. I mean, maybe I would have. I don't know, but I didn't volunteer to do it. I could have volunteered, and I didn't. They did. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm getting tingly all over from talking about this topic. Like you have no idea how much it means to me.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. So when I was in the military, then I came out and I got hit by a drunk driver and I got blood clots. And for a long time, they had me on a no-fly list because of the blood clots. And so I wanted to go do comedy overseas for the military, but I didn't get cleared to fly until this last year. And so I had such a passion to make the military and veterans laugh that I created my own shows in Portland and Salem and Vancouver and in Manhattan, New York, where I lived in New York 3 times and I did comedy weekly for the psych patients. Like, why would I want to do comedy for the easy crowd when you got I want a challenge.
Yeah, that's a challenge for sure. That's amazing, Linda. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I do comedy for the military and vets stateside on my own. And I want to go on a real tour where somebody else does all the work and I just tell some jokes.
Hey, listen.
I want to be lazy.
My Judy's. I'll contact Judy. She's the woman that she's amazing. She is one of the most incredible people that you'll ever meet. Our tour got bumped back to the spring, but I will contact her and give her your name and the info.
Greg.
And if she, right now she can't say anything because the military isn't even sure that we're going to do the shows in the spring. But I will put you two in touch.
Thank you so
And
much.
if you really want to do that, and plus you're a veteran, and being, let's be honest, being a woman, I mean, there aren't many women doing it. I think that'd be great. I will contact Judy after we're done here, and just give her a heads up. And then I would tell you this: she is one of the nicest, most decent people that you could ever meet. So if she can do something, she will. But if she can't, she will tell you that. No, doesn't play no games. You know what I mean?
I love
Judy,
that.
no game. Yeah, no games.
We bonded, and
so
we bonded, you and me, right out the gate. I didn't read your intro, so for those who are still watching or come later, I just want to read the intro you gave me. He's all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I'll have those posted. We're not done yet. I just feel bad I didn't say it.
Oh, don't
Greg
worry.
has been a stand-up. I don't want you to ever leave. Greg has been a stand-up comedian and actor for nearly 30 years, you guys. 30 years.
Wow.
Have you done anything for 30 years? I haven't. He has performed all over the US and Canada, and 10 years ago went to Iraq, like we were talking, to perform for the troops. Greg has also appeared, get this, get ready. Are you sitting down, folks? He has appeared on several major television shows, including Law and Order, SVU, and Criminal Intent, holy Toledo, The King of Queens, oh yeah, and others. Greg also appeared in Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2, and has a funny scene with Kevin James. Oh my God.
Yes.
Long Island.
Yes.
In the house.
Yes.
Are you from Long Island?
I was born in the Bronx. I grew up on Long Island. That's where I started doing comedy. And that's where I met so many amazing people like Kevin and Gary Valentine and Rock Rubin and Richie Minervini and all these people that are just wonderful and talented. And really, it was a great, back in those days, it was a great environment to nurture your comedy because people really cared about other comics. Like if you were a young comic starting out and one of the working comedians saw you and they liked you, they would tell you, "Hey, I like what you're doing. Keep it up. Here's a punchline, maybe whatever." It was just more of a camaraderie and a feeling of helping and helpfulness and caring and all that kind of thing. You know, the headliners would take you on the road with them sometimes. You know, "Hey, come with me, do this gig. It's a good gig," and you get your foot in the door and all kinds of. It was just a great way to get introduced to the business because of the people. The club, we had clubs to go to. It's so hard now to do an open mic night in a comedy club, especially in Vegas, because people they don't want an open mic night, they want a professional show. So a lot of the newer comics are going to bars and whatever, and that's great. They're hitting it, and it's great, and it can be, some of them can be wonderful. But when I started doing open mic nights, I had 4 comedy clubs to go to, like legitimate comedy clubs to go to. I thought it was always like this. You always had a comedy club with 150 people sitting in it, and of course it's not, but it was then.
Wow.
So we got to perform for crowds and have that. You know, comics would stop by who weren't on the show. They would just stop by to hang out and watch, and you know what I mean, give you a pointer here or there, and it was just so much fun. And you know, like I said, I started with Kevin James and Gary Valentine, Rock Rubin, Richie Minervini was already headlining. I mean, Joey Cola. I mean, there were so many people. Joan St. Ange. I mean, all these people that were just like cool people to be near, and everybody was good and talented and helpful and caring and let me help you out with that. I'll help you out with this. Call me tomorrow. Give it whatever it was. And Jim Myers. I mean, so many people that I look at and go, I had them to look up to and to grow with. You know, it just meant the world to me to see these people and how they behaved. And I watched them like the veteran comedians then who were just, you know, treat you like you belong there, even if you were just doing open mics. They treated you, okay, you're a comedian. All right, come on. Even if you did 5 shows your whole life and they've done 5,000, that they're letting you know that if you want to do this, you got to be in here. So you're in here. It was a great environment to be a part of. I miss that part. I don't know if it's like that anywhere. I haven't been back to Long Island in a couple of years because I was traveling so much. I was actually supposed to be there this summer, but anyway, and I think that's there on Long Island still. Like the clubs where they try to nurture the newer people and give them opportunities. And I was there the last time I was on Long Island. I think it was about a year and a half ago, and I was doing a show. And I was there for the weekend, and John Truson, who's one of the people that mentored me, he brought in some of his students to watch me. Mm-hmm. And you go to the show and you watch him. Watch how he does his act. Ask him questions. He'll help you. I thought that was like that was one of the greatest compliments I've ever had, because you're a comedian. You have a comedy class, a stand-up comedy class. You have these students, and you go, now you got to go watch this guy. Like I thought to myself, it really meant a lot to me that he felt that way, that he wanted his students to see me do my thing. I thought that was really cool.
Well, I saw you the other night at Delirious at Don Barnhart's show that he does Thursday through Sunday here in Vegas. Shout out. And
out.
It's not a paid announcement, but I'm sure he approves of it. And so when I saw you, I think that the above and beyond stellar material and delivery, what cracked me up is the way you latched on to the punk and you kept calling him. He was dying laughing that you kept calling him a punk. How do you get away with that?
Well, interesting question. Because what I was thinking in my mind as you were saying that was, 1 out of 500 might get offended. The other young guys who are very confident in themselves, they're laughing because it's a comedy show. Clearly, I mean, just the word punk to me is funny. It's just a funny word. Like, I'm not calling him something really nasty sound. Yeah, you know, it's not something that's, you know what I mean? It's, and I'm clearly jealous of the kid. I mean, he should know that by what I'm clearly, it was 26 or whatever he was, you know, oh God, punk, you know, and he knows it's a comedy show. And I find that those young guys that are just very comfortable with themselves, they know I'm kidding. They know I'm kidding with them.
It came across.
There's no reason, you know, every once in a while, and it's been a long time since that happened. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 might get his back up. Oh, you hate to go punk. No, no. Well, now I know you are. And usually what I'll try to do, yeah, you know, what I'll try to, you know what they say, don't get into a fight with an old guy. He has nothing to lose. So, but what I'll try to do is, like, I'll look at the audience, and it's hard now because you have that distance. I'll look at the audience and I'll try to see some young guy that, you know, and I'll if they raise their hands, I'll try to find the one that just looks the nicest. You know, it looks like, hey, it's me, as opposed to the guy, you know, hey, you know, I'll try to find that guy. You know, the show you were at, he was with his friends, right?
He was with a guy, and you go, well, whatever.
Oh, yeah, right. Now, see, I couldn't see. When you're up there, you're so far away from the audience now, you really can't see. But usually what I'll do, Linda, is I'll find my young punk with his girlfriend or his wife, okay? So then what I can always do is I'll talk to her. I'll just call her Punkette because I don't remember her name. So, hey, Punk, is this your wife, your girlfriend? Yeah, hey, Punkette. So then she becomes Punkette. And when I do a cruise ship, I'll do that joke, and very often people will recognize Punk the next day. Like on the ship, they go, hey, are you Punk? So they become like a little bit of a celebrity on the ship, you know? So it's fun. But I just like to have fun. I'm not good at the way I get away with it is I think I've already kind of made fun of myself a little bit. You know, my back hurts, my this, my that. So I don't come out hammering anybody. All that's true, by the way. I mean, my back is killing me, you know, my neck, everything hurts, you know, but anyway, so that's how I think I can get away with it.
It's so great that you can make people laugh at your misery.
Well, yeah, you know, you try, right? Like I'm doing that. I'm trying to work on the divorced material now. So try to get that out. That's not fun, but
I have one joke about being divorced.
Do you really?
And I've been divorced since 1980.
Oh my God. How old are you, 12?
I'm 69.
Stop that. I do not believe it.
Yeah.
No, I call you a liar, Linda. You look amazing.
Thank you. For 69, I look great.
Yeah.
For 40.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm single now, but anyway, all right.
Yeah, I heard. So my joke is I'm not into recycling. I only took my ex to the curb once. That's all right.
Well, good. I got to get more jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I find sometimes that they say, you know, like you said, you make people laugh at your misery. Sometimes you need a little bit of time away from it to see where the humor might be. You know what I mean? As opposed to right in the moment, because it kind of hurts too much, you know? And you want to know the worst thing about the divorce, Linda?
I do.
Is that
I'm dying to know your pain.
Oh, the worst thing is my ex got to keep the dogs.
Oh, no.
I miss, but she kept the house, so I want the dogs to be in the house.
Yes.
I want the dogs to be in the house, so that's no argument. She loves them. She takes care of them. But my point is, I really miss my dogs. I do. I miss my dogs. It's terrible. It's a terrible pain. I can't even. I miss my dogs.
Would you consider Would you consider going back to her for the dogs?
Man, that's That's a tall order right there. I mean, I do love them, but no, no, no. I think we're moving on. But I do get to visit them. I have visitation rights. I do. It's in the divorce decree.
Really,
Reasonable
sir?
visitation. Oh,
Good
I
for
made sure of
you.
it. I wasn't going to leave that house until I knew I could see my dogs.
Very
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
That's so
Yep.
cool. So
Yeah.
do you live in Vegas? Because you were talking about working at an animal shelter.
Well, I lived in Pahrump
Oh, okay.
for just over 3 years. We had a house up there, and I've heard all the jokes about Pahrump, over the
Darn.
hump to Pahrump, him, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, but when I got Oscar Madison out of my house and I had to leave, um, I didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do. I had no idea. This hit me. I mean, it blindsided me, you know. But thank God, my sister lives in Vegas, and she said, "Well, just move in here."
There
And
you
so
go.
I'm in Vegas until I figure out what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You know,
So
until I
so
figure
is
that
your
out.
does your sister still have the name Vaccarello?
Yes, yes, yes.
Is she around? Does she like to talk to people? I
Oh no,
like talking to
she's
people.
working. Oh
Darn.
no, she's working. Yeah,
Okay. I like
she's
bringing
working.
families on. You can learn a lot about a person from their family. It's so funny.
Oh, interesting. No, she's actually, I can hear she's in a meeting right now.
Oh,
One of
okay.
those whatever
Yeah.
like this kind of meeting. Yeah,
Yeah. What a
but
crazy
she
world
probably
we're
wouldn't hear.
living in. What?
Isn't it real? I wish that I had invested in like Zoom and Google Meets. Had I thought about that, I would have said I'm buying some stock because this must have gone through the roof.
It
This all
did.
these techie companies and home improvement stuff.
And
Oh, I didn't
it's
even think
really
about it.
weird, like all now it used to be that if you were ex-military, you were a hero. And now the greeter at Walmart gets the same level of respect. It's like,
Yeah,
what? He's a hero? Okay, fine.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting. Yeah,
Like,
huh?
what? I don't know about this world, but yeah.
It
So
it's topsy turvy right now.
everybody's on the same playing field,
Yeah,
kind of, sort of like that.
yeah.
Like Jimmy Fallon does this or did this
I,
for a while.
I know,
It
right?
blows my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not
I
as
know. It
funny
seems.
without a crowd. Have you noticed?
Yeah,
He's not
it's.
so
Is
hard.
does he have stand-ups on? I can't imagine.
I think they're like on screen, and lately he's got the band in the studio with him, but no audience still.
Huh. I don't know how you would do comedy without an audience. You have to have an audience. I just don't, for me anyway. I know
Yes,
they have these Zoom shows and all that, and I just don't know if I would be good at it.
I know. Well, people who are veterans of comedy like yourself, they all say that. I hate to put you all in one bucket, but if they're accomplished and they know how to read a room and they know how to work a crowd, this doesn't interest them. This is
Yeah,
for beginners.
yeah.
And I put myself in the bucket of a beginner. I'm only 6.5 years into this. And
Okay.
so this interests me, but at some point I'll go, I see what they're talking about. Yeah, this is
Yeah, yeah,
pretty basic.
yeah.
So
It's
now it,
like for me, even if I'm not talking to someone in the audience, like Punk, like I don't do a lot of crowd stuff, but the stuff I do, I like, and I can call it back through my act. All that gets taken away when you're doing something like just a Zoom show.
yes,
And I don't know. It's weird to not have an audience there.
it is.
I don't know if I could if I don't know if it would work for me. You know, I think a comedian who is very like joke oriented. You know, someone who comes out and goes, I bought a car today. The salesman said boom, 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 so I said boom, and that's the joke. I think that would translate better than someone who's a little more, I don't know what the word is, not joke oriented as much as like a bit, kind of like it takes there's a little more to it, and that's a compliment to joke oriented comics. I can't write like that. Like these comedians who can come out, oh, I bought a pair of glasses or whatever. I dropped my glasses, they fell on the floor, and they have a joke about it. Like, how do they do that? I think that might translate better to some type of online Zoom show. But when you're more reliant upon seeing someone in the crowd or the punk or whatever the case may be, I think it's harder because you're not seeing the crowd. I think it's a compliment to the joke writing type comics. They can okay, sure. Do they want to hear the laughter? Absolutely. But I think they don't need to have someone in the audience per se to relate to or to get something off of. They can just go out and do their jokes, and it's great. I think it's great. But when I see a comic like that, I'm in awe of it because I don't do that. Yeah, the guy.
I've seen comics on Zoom that do crowd work with the people who are the comics and start picking on them in a funny way. And that's funny because it looks like they're just thinking of it in the moment, but they've had it pre-planned most likely. And that does work. It does work, but it's so hard to get feedback this way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been asked to do one, or if I have, I don't remember. But maybe I would give one a shot just to see.
Yeah, and pick on the audience. Do them as your callbacks throughout.
Well, the other people on the Zoom show, is it just the other comedians?
Well, sometimes, like I go on regularly with Dat Fan in LA, and 90% of the time it's just other comics. So that would be a great one because there's usually 10 to 20 comics sitting around watching the ones who are performing. Or Adam Hunter would be a good show for you because the level of people in the audience are like sometimes huge celebrities that are watching, and bookers and agents and for TV.
Oh, wow.
Like that would be. And, he has high level comics. I'm sure he'd want you to perform on he calls it the Dime Show, Adam Hunter.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a good
one. The Dime, I'll look that up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
And his style is very much like yours.
I remember Adam. Yeah.
He's a little bit more jokey joke than you are. You're more a bit related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that'd be good.
Okay. I'll look into that.
Yeah. So I want to know what you would like to say about TV and commercials. I don't know. Man, you've done it all. I went and I saw one episode being filmed of King of Queens, the one with the turkey in the bathtub.
Oh my God. Yeah.
All the TV and the commercials you've done. What do you have to say about that, Greg?
I can honestly say that in everything that I've done, TV, movies, whatever, I've had wonderful experiences. There was only one time I didn't, but I don't even think about that. When I did the King of Queens, it was great. I mean, you walk on the set for rehearsal, and you can immediately tell it was a very professional setup, but there was a funness to it that I think comes from Kevin. You obviously you're there to work, so you're going to work, but you better have fun. Don't be a stick in the mud. Don't be a problem. And so we got the job done, and it was fun, but it was work. It wasn't nobody. I mean, when it came time to work, you better work. You better know your lines. You better know where your mark is. Do all that stuff. So it was the real deal, but there was funness to it. And even when I did the Law and Orders in New York, that's a different type of show, obviously. So they're not clowning around like comedians would necessarily, but there were unbelievably nice
Wow.
and professional on those sets. Unbelievably nice. I did SVU, I did Criminal Intent. You know, you couldn't ask for nicer people. And that always, to me, is a very important. I mean, even when you're one of the stars of the show, and I'm in a scene with you, take a little time, just a quick hello. I know you're working, but hey, welcome, first time. I mean, they all were like that. They all were just very polite, and then let's go, let's get to work. But there was none of that feeling of I'm better than you on those sets. Same the King and Queen saying it was we're all here together. Let's do this. So I did a few of the SVUs, and I always felt comfortable in their company and in the presence of the stars of the show because that's just the way they are. I think as people, if they want the scene to go well too, it's their show. They want you to do well. It's their show. So there was never that feeling of don't look at me, don't talk to me, none of that stuff. They were just very nice. Everybody was very nice on any of those shows.
That's
I did a show years ago called Hope and Faith. Did you ever hear of it?
Yeah.
Kelly Ripa and Faith Ford were on the show. And it was a sitcom. I thought it was really funny. I did one episode, and it was so long ago. And I don't know, 2 weeks ago, a guy I know here in town, Rob Salter, I'm going to Rob and Elisa, his wife Elisa, they had dug out some old VCR tapes they had. That's so long, okay? And they popped it in to see. First of all, they still have a VCR, which amazed me. But I have it over here somewhere. But they popped in it, and they were watching Hope and Faith, and it was my episode. So they shoots me a message going, dude, I just saw you on an old VCR tape of Hope and Faith. And I said, I've never seen that. So we're going to finish watching the VCR. We'll get it to you. And sure enough, Elisa, it's over here somewhere on my desk. Brought it over here. Now I just have to find somewhere the VCR so I can transmit, or whatever you call it, put it onto a thumb drive or something. But I've never seen it. But even that was just, that show was shot in New York, Hope and Faith. When I did that show, it was like everybody was so nice, professional, friendly, but there to work. But that's the way that it should be. It's not always that way. And I know sometimes, oh my God, there's a deadline. They got to get this done within the hour. Let's go. That's fine. That's work. I get it. But when you're in an environment where even like the stars of the show treat everybody with respect and decency, I think that's great. And
Me too.
it was just definitely the same thing with King of Queens. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Leah Remini was a doll. A doll.
Don't you love
She was so
her?
nice to me. What's that?
I lived in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn for a year. And
okay.
I got to meet her afterwards. They let you go up and talk to the stars. So I made a beeline for Leah and told her that, I had lived in Bensonhurst and she was so I love her spicy little attitude. Like, like, I don't mind you talking to me, but okay, now stop right there.
Yeah.
I like her.
Kevin and Leah were two of the nicest people. I've known Kevin for a long time, but Leah I had just met on the set there. They're just nice, good people.
Yeah.
And I think that translates out to the rest of the crew and everybody.
Exactly.
They're just nice people. I mean, good, talented, funny. What more do you want?
I know. Before we go, I want to know, where are you going to be performing? I got to write it down and put it on this post, Greg.
Okay. I will be at Jokester's Comedy Club at Alexis Park in Vegas the week of Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I forget those exact dates, but Thanksgiving week I'll be there. I think it's Thursday through Sunday. It's Don Barnhart and his wife Linda. It's their club, their other club.
Okay.
Let me see. November, what is it? I guess it's 26 through 29.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
So I'm sure that they'll have tickets available soon and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's Don and Linda own Jokesters and Delirious.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What do you want? I want to give you 5 or 10 minutes to just talk to people that don't know you, or people that know you and they're your fans. What do you want people to know about life, getting through a pandemic, being funny, making it in the showbiz, anything?
First of all, okay, I'm still trying to make it in showbiz. Like, I'm still taking acting class with Paul
Wow.
Campanella. So I'm still taking acting class. I'm still working on it. I'm writing. I have a script. I know everybody who writes a script says, "Oh my God, you got to read my script." They think they have the greatest script ever written. I really think I have a really pretty good script. I've had a few people read it and they've liked it. People that I trust that would say yes or no or whatever. Um, and so it's always a process. But I gotta tell you, if I don't get my break soon, I'm going to freak out. It's always a process, and like now I'm trying to get that script to where I can at least shoot what they call a teaser reel, or even maybe shoot the pilot episode of it, because I think it's good. I really do, and I think it's funny. And it would be a local shoot, Vegas and Pahrump shoot. So as far as the process of getting into show business, man, it's hard. But if you're going to do it, you got to do it. I mean, I meet people, after show. Oh, I always want to do comedy. I go, what are you waiting for? I don't know how to start. How did you start? I started going to comedy clubs, and I was taking an acting class, and I met people, Gary Valentine, Kevin James' brother, and I met Kevin, and we all said, hey, let's just go do a comedy club. We started taking improv classes at a comedy club. But you got to get in it. You got to get in. Call the club. Do you offer? Can I come in and just watch some shows? Start meeting comedians or whatever it is. But get going. I don't want to hear how funny you are down at the office. That doesn't matter. Oh, I'm the funniest guy at the warehouse. Nobody cares. You think you're funny at the warehouse at the loading dock. Try to be funny on stage in front of 500 strangers who don't know all your inside jokes and all your or like the other night, it's difficult now with all the social distancing. The crowd is so far back that it's almost like you're having trouble feeling the crowd. Try to do that as opposed to laughing with your buddies on a lunch break. So I tell people, if you think you're funny or if you want to get into acting, whatever it is, singing, man, get into it. There's nothing to wait for. What are you waiting for?
Yes.
Next week, next month, next year? So I tell people all the time, if that's really what you want to do and you want to start doing something in show business, whatever it may be, bring it, like go for it or stop talking. I don't want to hear after a show how funny you are down at the plant. I don't care.
Exactly.
No, you're not. You're not nearly as funny as you think you are. Get on stage in front of strangers. If you just flew 18 hours, and you landed, got to your hotel, took a shower, and went and did a show. Do that before I want to hear how funny you are down at the plant. Start. So if you're going to do it, it's not easy. Sometimes people get found out early on, and all of a sudden they're doing little TV here, movies here, and they got a career and they're making money. I know I've seen people, I've worked with, for instance, comedians that I would watch and go, why isn't this person famous? They're so funny, like legitimately funny. I don't mean stealing jokes funny. I mean legitimately funny. And you don't know why that happens sometimes. Like, how is that person not at least getting a shot at something on TV? How is that happening? They would deserve it. I'm not going to move to New York or LA. I live here in name a place. I live in whatever, Kentucky, and I'm not leaving. Okay, good for you. At least you know that. But I've seen people that really deserve a shot who are so funny, but maybe they have 2 kids and they can't just uproot and go to LA or go to New York. You know what I mean? That's a big thing to do. But there should be a way. And I know this internet thing can help out a lot. But man, there are some people I met who were just so funny, and you wonder, why haven't they become well known? Why aren't they touring or on the Tonight Show or something like that? They would deserve it. Which reminds me, another thing, I love people. I talk to people and they go, oh my God, you're so funny. You should get on the Tonight Show. I'm like, really? You think so? Oh, I never heard of that show. Tell me all about it. How do you, I mean, like, as if all you got to do is walk in and go, hey, Jimmy, put me on. And he goes, well, I've been waiting for you to call me, or Kimmel or something like that. Yo, JK, But yeah, I mean, you're kidding. Like, you should get on. Do you know the Jimmy Kimmel show? You should get on that. Really? Should I do that? I didn't know that's how. I don't know. How do you go about it? I mean, it's such a process sometimes, But if it's something you want to do it now. Don't wait. No excuses. Don't come up to me after the show. Tell me how funny you are at work. I'm the crack up at the office. I don't care. I don't care. You're not as funny as you think. I want to see you get on that stage with your own material, not stolen material. I know. I see these comics. That's not your joke. The crowd doesn't know, but I know. I know the comics know. Get up there on that stage with your own material that you wrote and be funny in front of 500, 200, 1,000 strangers or 20 strangers in a big room. That happens sometimes too. Go up there and deliver your act in front of 15 people in a big room on a Friday late show and see how funny you are.
Thank you.
I don't want to hear that you're funny. I want to see it. And it's tough.
One time I was doing a weekly show for veterans in Vancouver, Washington on the VA grounds there. And it took a year for the VA to trust me to go in and do comedy because they were afraid I would trigger a veteran. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Maybe you should think about the word you're using, but whatever. So finally they let me do this regular show where veterans who had somebody check in with them once a week and give them more pills and stuff. So I was at one of these places where they lived, but they were being closely monitored. Well, I got a phone call that they didn't want me to come in that week. And I'm like, well, what did I do wrong? No, we had a stabbing. Somebody got in there and stabbed 3 of the veterans to death.
Oh my God.
I'm like going through having PTSD 3 times removed at home for weeks, waiting for them to call me. And they finally said, okay, you can come back in. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know. This is like making people laugh after 9/11,
Yeah, oh, I know. Yeah. Horrible.
So I did the unthinkable. I called KGW News and I said, will you come in with me? So they put it all over the media that I do this thing. And it became a whole thing, and it was because I was scared to go in there and try to and I thought these people would really like to know that the news cares about them. And it became all about me. I was trying So yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you talked about the military tour that you did and bombing the night before, I thought about my people that got killed at the place where I did it stateside. It's not always funny, what we're going at. Like now there's 25 feet at the comedy club and that's not funny. That detracts from the comedy. There's a lot of factors that you think you're funny. Let's see you go in somewhere where there was missile fire the night before.
Right.
Those people laugh.
Yeah.
A lot of things. Oh. Yeah. Well, you've been an awesome person to interview. I've enjoyed the heck out of this. Oh my God.
Me too.
And I enjoy the heck out of your comedy. I was sitting there going, oh my God, this guy is so funny.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, and I appreciate that very much.
Thanks for coming on and sharing your heart and soul and your love for the military and veterans. Thanks for doing that. And thanks for all the sacrifice that has been in your life to make people laugh. Because I think that comedy is essential. And you're making sacrifices for it.
Thank you for thinking of that. I appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later. You're here in
Vegas.
Hope so. Yes.
I hope so.
I'll tell everybody to go to Jokesters and watch you 11/26 through 29 at Alexis Park in Vegas. Right.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Greg, bye.
Bye.